All right. Hey, how you doing, everyone? Late night, in the middle of the night, or is it early morning? I don't know what you would call this, but I just woke up. I woke up, got out of bed, and said, "Hey, I think I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to get to work and do a little broadcast and talk about what's going on right now." First of all, let me see if anybody's even here. Let me turn on my chat. Turn down the volume first. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I have a little bit of a scratchy throat. I talk a lot lately. All I do is talk. Hi, everyone. Hi. All right, very good. I'll turn on the camera. Don't touch that pie. Well, it's my birthday. I should be able to have a little pie, right? Yeah, no one's here. 113 people watching. Hello, everyone. Hello. Yeah, what is going on in comics? Thank you, thank you. Oh, happy birthday to me. Yeah, I'm 44 years old today. Eric Hyuga says, "Why are you streaming at 1 a.m.? Does it make it any better that it's actually 4:30 in the morning here? It's not 1 a.m. It's 4:30. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Yeah, Mark Wade attacks Peter Samiti. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. All right. So I'm getting lots of this. I spent yesterday just hanging out with my family. By the way, am I blue? Hunter came in here and he I look older today. Great. Hunter came in here today and fixed the screen. I don't think I'm going to be blue anymore. I think I'm more natural. Yeah. Happy. Oh, thank you. Thank you. F. Wade. Love that comic book spinner back there. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Comic spinner rack. It's awesome. Hey, good morning, Antonio. Antonio, are you there?
Hey Ethan, I think you got the wrong black guy. This is Ben.
Oh, hey, Ben. My bad. How you doing, Ben?
Oh man, I'm doing good. I just got off with Antonio on my own stream,
Oh,
so
right on.
I've been missing your morning show because I'm usually not up, but I said I'm gonna go pop in and see what you're talking about.
Well, we're talking about Alterna
Yeah,
and what's going on with Alterna. I'm just getting caught up on this myself, but it does seem like there's war being raged or waged against this indie publisher.
yeah, it
And
is.
are you watching this?
Yeah, I watched some of it last night. Then I know Douglas Ernst he did a show about it. I know Tug did a show about it, and that's how I kind of caught up with it. It's damn sad, man. I just don't understand why go after this guy that's actually helping the industry. This guy is actually helping the industry, trying to find a cheaper way to give people cheaper books, and they're attacking this guy for putting out a policy that any other company may or may not do.
Um, yeah. Well, so this is the thing. This is the issue at hand for those people who don't know. Now, Zach of Diversity in Comics for the longest time kind of railed against professionals who use a blockchain. Now, a blockchain is a massive. It's a way to block a massive amount of people all at once. You can get a list of people, or you could just say, you know what, everyone who follows Ethan Van Sciver, and everyone who follows him, block them on Twitter. Now, if you do that, I've got, I don't know how many, 26,000 followers on Twitter. So you're going to block 26,000 people. That is like carpet bombing the internet. I mean, it's like, so you're going to get a lot of. First of all, you'll also have to understand that not everyone who follows me is sympathetic to me. So you're blocking people that, I mean, it's like who are just probably on your side if you're against me.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, like that's a terrible a terrible practice unless you really don't care. I was thinking about this in the shower. I was just like, is blockchaining? What's wrong with it exactly? Now, Mark Wade has an argument. Mark Wade wrote a whole essay like he does. Mark Wade
Yep.
thinks he's the sheriff of the internet. He thinks he's the sheriff of comics. Mark Wade. Mark Waid, ever since Rob Granito, Mark Waid's been out of control when it comes to just being a superhero, a real life superhero. Mark Waid is out there. He's telling people what's up, and he is, you know, I don't know. He's enforcing his brand of justice.
I've never met the guy. You know, I've read his books. You know, some of them I don't know anything about him other than these crazy ass posts that he puts out there. And
Hold on, we got the other black guy. All right, so hi Antonio.
It's a blackout on Ethan's.
I totally saw the avatar, and I just called Ben Antonio because I just figured it's always Antonio that comes here.
Antonio, he said we all look alike. Antonio, he said we all look
alike. Two black guys.
Yeah, they told me. They said Ethan done bought him another one.
The Mid-Atlantic trade is open.
I don't know if I want to live in Japan.
I'm so sorry. Oh, good Lord. All right. So anyway, now we've got two black guys and one white guy. I'm outnumbered, and this is perfect.
Oh man! Now in the chat they're going crazy. Tokens of ComicsGate activate. It's like the Wonder Twins up in here, man.
Just know Ethan is now our token.
Right. Yeah. All right. So what, Antonio? What we're talking about right now is we're talking about. Wow, I'm getting crazy super chats here. Corrine L, thank you so much for $50. Happy birthday, and thanks for everything you do, Uncle E. That's kind of you. Thank you so much, Corrine. Wow, $50 for my birthday. Appreciate that. Yeah. All right. So we're talking about blockchains and whether they're okay or not okay. And I don't know. I'm not exactly sure. Zach, I go back and forth about this. Hey, Kelsey, we're getting a crowd here.
What's up?
Good to have you. I didn't think too many people would be on. I figured I'd get Antonio in a little while once he got home from work. It's
they let me go early tonight, actually.
Oh, good. For my birthday. All right. So, well, let me ask you guys. Let me ask Kelsey, since he just walked in. Kelsey, what do you think of blockchains on Twitter?
I think they're bullshit. I mean, I don't like them. I don't believe in blocking people. I think that's a cowardly way out. You know, a way to shut people up you don't agree with, and it creates this little bubble of bullshit. Really, sorry for my language.
Nope. Feel free.
Yeah, and that's the thing though, because obviously Mike thought he was cool with Tom Taylor. And then he posted up the screenshot that Tom had blocked him. Maybe Tom used a block bot. I mean, they wrote a new and illustrated a New York Times bestseller a couple times together.
Yeah.
I think, hey, maybe I shouldn't block my friend, but I don't know.
Well, I don't know if I'm blocked by Tom Taylor, but I'm guessing I am.
I was surprised I wasn't. I'm not blocked by Tom Taylor. Yeah, but he's blocked. Mike S. Miller is definitely blocked by Tom Taylor.
Gee whiz.
That's weird.
I think I'd block Mike. No,
here's who I block. First of all, I only block people who are hardcore, like they're like on a harassment campaign, and they're looking to use my information, the things that I tweet, in order to do me harm. I'll block those people. Rich Johnson is currently blocked from all my social media because
you're like on another level, though. I mean, you're like, people are like coming after you big time.
Oh yeah. But I mean, look, the thing is, like, it's nothing that I can't handle with a mute. No, I'm not going to block everybody. You're allowed to talk shit to me. You can say whatever you want. These people can, as long as they're not actively out to do me harm. And there are a few people who rise to that level. I've got maybe 25 people actually blocked. And then like probably 300 people muted, because it's just like the moment that you say something that's like aimed to ruin my day, and I know you have bad intentions. This isn't criticism. This isn't, it's somebody saying, shut the fuck up, Nazi, muted. You know, I don't need to hear that. You know, that doesn't need to enter my social media sphere. But I'm not going to block them, and I'm not going to say, hey, everyone that follows Mags Visaggio blocked. That seems counterproductive to me. I don't. It's a bad thing when somebody goes, "Hey, they're talking about this Ethan Van Sciver guy. Let me go find out a little bit about Ethan Van Sciver," and then you find out you've been blocked and you don't even know me. Like you've never interacted with me before. You're just prejudged, pre-blocked, and I see people do that all the time. Like people say, I went to go look at, you know, so and so, and I'm blocked. I never even talked to this person. I don't understand. You know, it's like because you got caught up in a blockchain, and it does send like it does feel bad. It makes it annoys regular people. I mean, you know, culture warriors like us. I think we're accustomed to it, but I think you know, we can deal with it. But just regular customers, you know, now, on the other hand, you know, when Mark Wade says, "Hey, you know, just because you are a customer and you're reading the books, uh, you know, and comics are for everyone, doesn't mean unfettered access to the creators is also, you know, your right." It's true, you know, that's true. But if you're on Twitter, you know, I mean, it just seems like if you're letting some people have unfettered access to you, some fans, I think you should probably let all fans until they misbehave. And it doesn't take long to mute someone. You know, it doesn't take long to just mute or block someone. It's just a quick, see somebody say something bad to you, press a button. That's it. That's it for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, blacklist, not blockchain, says Nacho Ninja. Because yeah, again, you know, Twitter, this is why people leave Twitter. And people leave Twitter because of the harassment, and they just go, this is really unpleasant. But if you mute people, Twitter's actually very nice. And I keep telling people, I think Donald Trump has the right attitude about Twitter, which is post and forget it.
Yeah.
Walk away. You know, it's like,
there was a lot of weird stuff, you know, with those people that filed the lawsuit so that he would unblock them and stuff. And then you see a couple of them after he unblocked them, they blocked him. They were just doing that to virtue signal. That was the only reason they did all that nonsense. So how much money got wasted on stupid lawsuit?
yeah, but they got attention.
Yeah, and that's
That's what
that's
they
like got to
wanted.
stop feeding the trolls.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. Colonel Comics, thanks for $2. Happy birthday, Caesar. Thank you. Thick Wids, $2.99. Happy birthday, Uncle E. Thank you, Thick Wids. Appreciate that. Steve Dye,
Your
Ave.
birthday?
Yeah, today's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. 44 years old. I'm an old man. Broken down old man, Kelsey.
I'm only like a year or two behind you.
Oh, here we go. You know, the grave is calling. Steve Dye, $2. Abe Colonel Comics. Yes, happy birthday, Caesar. Corrine L. Okay, I read yours. Thank you again, Corrine. Very generous. Schmo Buddy told Jeremy on Geeks and Gamers this, and it applies to you and ComicsGate as well. Your success is our success. Fight the good fight, Uncle E. P.S. Good job getting out of that vajayjay back in the day. Thank you so much. Yeah, I did. I was, you know, I did great. Darth Bobcat, $2. Antonio, thanks for bringing attention to Asami.
I had a guy named Stephen Hart on my program when I got off work earlier, and just something that a project I found on Indiegogo when Kanan and I had got off air with John Malin, and me and him were kind of doing cool projects that nobody was paying attention to, and he was kind of struggling. And so I did a video about it, and then I invited him on. We talked for like about an hour and a half, and it was fun. And he got some donations, so that's good.
That's terrific. Gojira $5. Thank you. Happy birthday, EVS. Buy a mini pie on me. Yeah. Rumper Switch, $5. Happy birthday, EVS. Hero Man. Yeah, wow, you guys are nice. Jager Bomb, thanks for $10. Slightly off subject. Do any of you all see Pop Culture Detectives video defining Last Jedi? It was condescending to say the least. Keep up the good work. Don't let the bastards get you down.
Oh, never bring up Last Jedi. Just please don't.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's funny. I haven't watched anybody's videos about The Last Jedi except a few of my friends from the High Council. Everyone's talking about the what's him call it on the Red Letter Media, that guy, talking about that. And I looked at it, I started watching it, and I went, oh, he's doing it in the kind of drunky voice, and he's kind of clever. And then I went, oh my god, this is 54 minutes long. Like, this is like reliving it all over again. I don't know if I can do this. So I got about 10 minutes in and went, I'm checking out. But yeah, it's like, how much more commentary? Not only that, like, I'm afraid if I watch other people's commentary on Last Jedi, I'll end up repeating it. And I like to come up with my own jokes. Billy Ritchie, $1.99. Happy birthday, Caesar Dilly Dilly. Thank you. Mark O'Connell, $2.29. Happy birthday, EVS. I love you very much. Thank you, Mark. I love you too. Coronas, $1.99. Can we get a plate of ribs with purchase of brand?
Nice. That would be amazing, but it would also bankrupt me.
That's a lot of ribs.
Yeah, that's a lot of ribs. Yeah, we got 1,000 books sold already. So I'm like,
all right. I love it.
love it. I will hate signing all of them, but I'm going to sign every single one.
I'm going to do it too. It's going to be great. I'm going to be
got like 10,000 to sign though, and some of them you got to draw frogs on. And
yeah. It's going to be something else. But I'm going to I'm using a fulfillment service.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I worked it all out. I think I worked it all out. I'm gonna, there's a fulfillment service in my town, so it's actually, or one town over, so it's actually going to be pretty convenient. And Andrea just clapped out. Andrea was just like, I can't do this. I was like, I hear you. Let's, at this point, we might be wasting our time fulfilling our own Indiegogo. We might as well hire somebody to do it and move on to the next one. Happy birthday!
You such high volume, man. I won't blame you on that. But.
Yeah, it's just I at first it seemed kind of cute. Like, we would just do. We were thinking we would sell 4 to 5,000 copies, and then we could just sit there and do it in a month together, and it would be a family project. It's out of control. It's just out of control now. So, we would really, I think we would burn ourselves out doing that every day for a month. So it's better just to, again, let somebody else do it. Pay them to do it, and then just move on to Rainbow Brute and just put our creative energy into Rainbow Brute and her business acumen into that. And we don't need to be stuffing envelopes. I think we can. Yeah, we can do that ourselves. We can let somebody else do that. Stringfellow, $10. Thanks. Happy birthday, Ethan. Buy a pint on me. Rump Roast Switch, $2. Just back Cyberfrog. You to Shay it. JGFJGFIF. Well, I don't know why you have that name, but I wish I could pronounce it. $2. Happy birthday, Uncle E. The fans got your back. John Whalen, $2. Hey, Uncle, happy birthday, MAGA. Yeah, MAGA. New Super Dice, $5. 44 years young. Happy birthday. Thank you. Entertainment Buddy, $2. Happy B-Day. Spend this on healthy food or not. Went out to dinner last night because Hunter's here, my son, and he's got to leave this afternoon. So we celebrated my birthday. And went to a great place called Library 2, best steakhouse, local steakhouse. Oh my god, I got a huge T-bone just smothered in. It was a ribeye with a bone in it, just smothered in crab meat. Oh my god. Didn't have any cake. Didn't have cake. I just I couldn't even do the cake. I couldn't do it. But that was an excellent dinner. And then I just drank. I had whatever I wanted to drink. Passed out around 9 p.m. And then I just wake up to all this drama with Alterna. I feel like I got to get back on the horse here and ride with these guys because, what's going on with Alterna is stupid. Kelsey, are you mad about it?
Oh, hell yeah. Very.
I think Nerd Wonder.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was saying, I think Nerd Wonder almost came through the screen at one point last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is a CBR article. Now, at some point, Alterna became the indie kind of ComicsGate company, and that's what we're looking at now. So, if Alterna succeeds, and by the way, Alterna, I think Alterna. I don't know if Alterna is sympathetic with ComicsGate or not. I think they're just kind of like, yeah, ComicsGate, whatever. Anyway, so back to selling our own books. And I kind of think that's Peter Simity's attitude. Although I think he has listened to some ComicsGate ideas and agreed with them. The blockchain being the main one that got him in trouble. He basically said, "I don't believe in blockchains, and I don't want any of our creators doing it." Our attitude being, "Hey, you're adults, you're in business, you are going to be professional, and you are not going to block our customers. You get online representing Alterna, representing your book. Your job is to promote the book, and if you are, if you find yourself in a position of being harassed by an individual, block that individual, but you're not going to blockchain a bunch of customers over political reasons." Well, that was his social media guideline. That was what he said, you had to do in order to work for Alterna, and the internet exploded. So, here's the they're trying to take him down by any means necessary. Now, Peter Simiti is a gentleman. He's a nice guy who actually, I think he has feelings. I don't have feelings anymore. I'm just like, I'm so numb to all of this. I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever. Bullshit, SJW nonsense. But no, Peter Simiti doesn't get it yet. And I told him, and I think I told him privately, I just said, grow a thick skin right now, like right now, or you're not, go read the SJWs Always Lie book, do that, and this will all make sense to you, and you'll realize it's nothing personal. It's not you. This is culture war. This is what they're doing. You're dealing with hardened SJW, far leftist weirdos who see the comic book industry as something that they possess as a means to distribute their propaganda. And they're not going to let it go. They would rather destroy comics than actually admit that what they're doing isn't working. They don't care if it works. It's not about working. It's not about selling comics. So whether or not they sell comics by doing what they do, it doesn't matter. That's not the issue. The issue is having this plot of ground that they've taken over, and they're not going to give it up. So, just learning to understand that and realizing that these people who you thought were your friends who are not your friends. These are all hard realizations. I mean, it's a tough thing. I watched Donald DeLay. I watched it happen to him. I don't know if Kelsey, have you experienced too much pushback? I mean,
no, but I don't really give it out. I just I'm trying to create like a kind of environment at least on my Twitter that I grew up in, just like Peter did. But
it's probably going to come your way.
So be it.
Yeah, and you got to see it for what it is, and you can't you can't just like go, oh my god, these are not normal people. You didn't do anything wrong, and when it happens to you, like it says in the book, SJWs Always Lie. Don't count on anyone to defend you. Nobody cares. And it's not that it's not that nobody cares about it. Nobody sees what you're going through. Nobody cares in that way, and nobody wants to get involved. So Peter is experiencing something that it's like it's very vivid to him, and to everyone else we're just kind of like, what the hell. He's all broken up about this. Now he wants to sue CBR. He threatened to sue CBR if they didn't take this article down. This is interesting. Update. Alterna Comics founder and publisher Peter Simiti has issued a response via Twitter in which he denounced Micah Meyer's allegation that he was removed from one of the publisher's books for failure to adhere to the company's social media policy. Comic book letterer Micah Myers has revealed he was removed from a book by Alterna Comics for apparently not meeting the terms of the company's updated social media policy. It was recently revealed that the independent comic book publisher had a new code of conduct agreement forbidding its creators from using blockchain applications on social media platforms. And seeing as Micah was using such tools, he was forced off, quote unquote, a book by the company. This doesn't seem true. Myers posted about the incident on his personal Facebook account after Alterna's new policy began to come under fire. Of course he did, from creators and the general public. It's always these it's like, hey, I'm a letterer. It's time for some attention. I'm a letterer on a small indie book that people don't know about. I need my moment in the sun here. So I'm going to take down the guy who gave me work. I'm gonna kind of expose him to a pack of jackals.
I don't know who any of these people are. I mean, like, I've been in this business almost as long as you have, and I know nearly everyone. And I keep seeing these names, and I'm like, who are you? It's like they've done a book just to legitimize their place just enough to get in here and cause trouble, you know?
Yeah, you know what? I'm the same way. It sounds arrogant, but like there are always these people who talk about me, and people are like, hey, so and so said this about you. And I'm like, who the fuck are they? Like, I don't know who anyone is. And oftentimes, like I've never met these people. These people say, yeah, Ethan's giving me trouble. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're talking about. And most of these
there
people
was
are
that
lying.
one guy on Twitter, and he was talking like you guys had been having a back and forth. I was like, I guarantee you don't know who the fuck you are.
I don't. I don't know
He's
what's
like,
going on.
Yeah, he's like, I've got beef with you, Nasser. I was like, okay, man.
Unless you've got beef for me, I don't give a shit.
With some gravy on the side, please.
Absolutely, it was so good last night. Oh my god, dude!
I don't know. I don't know about that crab stuff on the steak, man. That's
It's surf and
yeah.
turf, baby. You got to do that. Surf and turf.
Nah, that
real.
don't sound right.
It doesn't sound good. If you
No.
tried it, you would change your mind. You would change your mind.
I'll take your word for it, but
Yeah.
the Cajun in me is screaming like, no, that ain't supposed to happen.
Oh yeah, surf and turf. He's right. I mean, that's ship and shore. You know, you gotta do a little seafood and steak whenever you can. The two together.
Yeah, but you said smothered.
Well, you know what they do is they put a like kind of glop of crab, like I mean, beautiful crab meat on top of the steak, and it's just awesome. Believe me, it's awesome. I'll take you. You come over here. You know, come over to Jersey. I'll take you to this place. It'll change your life. You'll be like, oh, I see.
Like,
We
okay.
don't like steak and crab. What about steak and lobster?
Oh, I like it. I like them together, but the way he was putting it was like there was a coating of crab meat on the steak.
No.
I'm like, and that's what I'm envisioning here. And I'm like,
No, man, I follow some of these food blogs on Instagram, and they be just they make sure the food is perfectly angled, and they take the nice, and I be like,
Yeah, I you know, listen, it was really good. I came home and just I had to rock Ava to sleep, and Ava falls to sleep to Michael Jackson songs, all
that's
the
a good
ballads.
girl.
So I gotta, you know, she's got to hear Human Nature. She's got to hear Heal the World and all that stuff. So I've got it on my iPhone, and I just sit there and I rock her to sleep. I have to, you know, 6 Michael Jackson songs that we listen to every single night until she falls asleep. Yeah. But in the beginning of that song, there are kids that talk, and it every time that happens, she jumps in my arms. She's like, "There's a child in here." You know, it's like Michael Jackson's got these kids going, "I just want the world to be a better place," and he was like, "Like, where's the music? Who is this weirdo kid?" But anyway, yeah, I did that. I put her to her crib, and then I just passed out on the bed, just like. Andrea asked me. She said, "Well, did you like your presents?" I was like, "I love my presents." She said, "I want to know, should I order that Jabba the Hutt?" And I was like, She's like, "Because it doesn't come out until October, but you know, I just you have a space for it downstairs in your office." I was like, "Yes." She's like, "So I should order the Jabba the Hutt." I'm like, "How do I say yes, like really, like, you know, ecstatically without seeming yes, I would like the Jabba the Hutt." She's like, "Okay, all right."
So you're getting the Jabba? You're really getting it?
I'm getting it. Yeah. I said I was going to get it. You know, I've hinted at it for months now. I've said, well, that Jabba the Hutt's expensive, and you know, Andrea knows what I like. Andrea knows that that's a birthday present kind of situation, and since it comes out in October, she can pre-order it on my birthday, and I can get a late birthday present. And she's been thinking about it, and you know,
then you can get a Hut killer and put it right next to it.
Oh my god! Yeah, get a nice like Princess Leia enslaved gear. I don't know if they even make those anymore. But yeah, I'll review it, guys. I'll definitely review it. A guy wants me to say Ethan style. Yeah, that seems to be my slogan. That comes out of my mouth whenever I'm reviewing something and I'm taking a breath. I go, yeah.
No, I remember one of the first times I ever super chatted you, and I was like, "Hey, Ethan, I've got a project called Brand, and it's on Kickstarter. And if you guys could go look at it and appreciate," and you were like, yeah." And I was like, okay.
That's my like, yeah, I'm okay. All right, I'm processing that. And that's just, it's funny. Like I didn't realize I did that until I watched a few of my own videos, and I was like, oh my god. And they pick stuff out about you. You know, it's like as soon as you're making videos every single day, all of your eccentricities, all your quirks become memes, and it's just like, it's great. It's awesome. Anyway, so let's get back to this. So I'm hearing that this guy Micah Myers. Somebody said in the chat, like somebody knows him, and he's like a hardcore communist. So it's like none of this. If that's not true, Micah, I apologize. That's what someone in the chat says, that you are a hardcore communist, and I'm you know, I'll bet if you are, you don't mind that being said. Myers posted about the incident on his personal Facebook account after Alterna's new policy began to come under fire from creators and the general public. Why are they like that? You know, every time every time you accidentally step on something that's important to them, they freak out. I mean, they absolutely freak out. Oh, blockchains are important. That's actually, so you realize blockchains are really legitimately important to these SJWs. That's like a thing to them. And you can tell because they're squealing about it. To me, it just seems like, wow, is it a good idea or is it not a good idea? No, to them, it's, you know, as loud as they can over this. No, we have to blockchain people. What do you think, Ben? What do you think about the idea of using their own tactics against them? Even if
I
we
don't
find those tactics kind of, meh, what do
I
you
don't
think?
like it because then, jumping in the mud with them, you're putting yourself in that thing. I would much rather us just being above their BS and laughing at them while they wallow in the mud with the rest of the pigs. At this point, I just want to be us, show a better way,
Mm-hmm.
show, because we're going to get new customers. There's going to be people that want to see what ComicsGate is about. There's going to be guys that say, okay, I've heard what ComicsGate is, so let's see what it's really about. And if that's their first impression, then we may lose that customer. And that's what I fear.
Yeah, I don't want to lose customers. At the same time, there are some people who are just not customers. And you know, those people, you can block them. There are people who are actually just trolls who are out to make your day bad. Nobody has to have someone spoil their day. That's not my obligation. Is not to let everyone spoil my day. It's not, I have to remain chipper. I have a family. I have to smile. So I can't. You know, if I need to block you, I need to block you to shut you out. But the idea of just saying, okay, everyone that follows Mark Wade, fuck all those people. Boom, big gigantic, you know, blockchain. Uh, that seems counterproductive. It seems like probably 60-70% of those people are people that I could actually convince to buy Cyberfrog. So,
It's business stupid.
yeah, yeah.
It, I don't understand what these creators are trying to do. Are they trying to make money or not?
Well, they're
What is the
not.
end goal? If that's where I don't want to be part of that. If they don't want to actually create a business and help it grow and help this industry grow, then frankly, fuck them. They just go about your business, go away, let you, yes, block everybody. I want to actually, we should support SJWs to block everybody. Tell them to block everybody.
Well,
Let them block.
you know what the blockchain is? The blockchain is evidence, by the way, that it's not about business. It's about something else. It's about freely expressing your politics using comics. That's what it's about. It's about propaganda. And so anyone, like if it were about business, then you would think the way that, you know, Alterna Comics does, which is, hey, blockchains are counterproductive for that purpose. Using a blockchain blocks customers and potential dollars disappear when you do that. So we don't want to do that. But if you are just a hardcore ideologue that's using your social media to get your message out every single day, why not block people who are going to stop you? I mean, that's what that is. Let me read some of more of these super chats here. Stringfellow, okay. Happy birthday, Uncle Ethan Maga, says John Wayland. New Super Dice, 44 years young. Happy birthday. Thank you for $5. Appreciate that. Entertainment Buddy, $2. Happy birthday. Spend this on healthy food or not. Sammy Ray, $5. I try to follow as much of the industry as possible, so I get caught up in blockchains a lot. And that's annoying to people. People don't like that. People don't enjoy that. Jedi Knight and friend of Captain Solo, thanks for $2. What about the Ryan Johnson attack on the Wookiees? What is that about? I gotta catch up on what's going on in Star Wars news. Too busy partying yesterday. E. Michael, $5. Happy birthday. Don't wear white after today. I know I heard about that, but that's not a real thing. That's a Coco Chanel rule from the 1960s. You can wear white after Labor Day, unless you are Coco Chanel. I am not. Gojirify, $5. Check out the quality control of the fulfillment center, though. This one's good. They actually are known for it. So I'm not worried about it. I'm worried about how much they're going to charge us. But other than that, Dallas Deadeye, $2. Happy birthday. Neville Bain, $10. Best wishes from your biggest fan down under. Thank you. Yellow Flash Comics. Hi. $2. I'm going to sleep. I wanted to say happy birthday. Thank you, Yellow Flash. Good to see you. We'll talk tomorrow. Gojirify, $5. What happens if the fulfillment center doesn't pack the books adequately? Yeah, that's a concern. But again, I trust these people because it's what they do for a living. And I guess I would make them responsible for it. Like honest, I mean, they would be responsible for it. They would have to fix the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if they're reputable, they'll take care of it. It wouldn't even be an issue.
They are reputable. Everyone knows who they are. Narwhal Books, thanks for $10. Happy birthday, Ethan. Long live Peter Simeti. Follow me on Twitter, y'all. Follow me on Twitter, y'all. My pinned tweet is a comic. Okay, so follow Narwhal Books on Twitter. John Gaming the System, $2. All these hobos up late. Get a job. Yeah, really.
I have a job.
I don't. I'm a comic book artist and a talk show host. Talk radio host. Those are my jobs. I need a real job. Heresy Art, $2. American manga's title should be Tex-Mex. That's funny. That's really clever. Phil Ken 7, $10. Happy birthday, Ethan. Your streams and videos are always entertaining and the highlights of my day. I'm glad to see on actually live. Hail Caesar. Thanks, Phil. Blue Satoshi, $10. Blockchains as in Bitcoin or blockbots? What's blockchains and Bitcoin? What's that about? I don't know. We're referring to blockbots, I guess, or like block lists. That you get a big list of people and you can just block them all, and you can pass that list around to people, and they can block them too. C.A. Cunningham, $5. The about using SJW tactics is that the tactics don't work. Usually looking bad does more harm than whatever you think you're gaining. I'm going to come back to that. Narwhal Books, $5. A big angle at play is centralized media to decentralized media. Mellow Soul, $7.99. Happy birthday, EVS. Would you have Aiden Paladin on to talk about the psychological business side of things? Yeah, anytime. I like Aiden. I really do. I like Aiden and Hard Bastard. I think they're good people. Rump Row Switch, $2. Working on my own comic, 20-year hiatus. Such inspiration. Good. W Wham MSWT, 100. Take my money, Uncle E. Happy birthday from the Socialist Utopia of Denmark. Thank you so much. I wish I could visit the Socialist Utopia of Denmark. It seems like it'd be a nice, fun place to go for the holidays. Mishka, £5. It's my mom's birthday today, but she's part of some religious thing that doesn't celebrate her own anymore. So happy birthday to you, Ethan. This sounds like Jehovah's Witness. Not celebrate your birthday. Just got back from John Williams at Hollywood Bowl, now Cap Stream. Great capper. That sounds like fun. That's terrific. Yeah, I would love to see Star Wars live. Be fun. Yeah. So SJW tactics, do they work? Do they work? I mean, they seem to work, honestly. Um, it's like these people follow a book of rules. If anyone gets in the way of your agenda, block them. If anyone gets in the way, just shut them out. Hey, by the way, guys, did you notice I hung the JFK picture? That's,
I hadn't noticed. Yeah, I see it.
I
Hey,
hung
Kevin,
it.
how you
Sorry,
doing, buddy?
sorry, the TIE fighter kept catching my eye.
Yeah. The TIE Fighter is cool. The TIE Fighter is definitely cool. I haven't touched it since I put it down there, but I mean, yeah, I actually did go. I started hanging pictures. I guess I got to hang pictures all the way to the end of this wall. I've got an autographed Alfred Hitchcock that's going to go there, and a bunch of other things. I think I
That's a
can
good
do it.
find right there, Alfred
Mm.
Hitchcock.
Yeah, the only thing is it was done in pencil, and it's like faded, and I'm like, but it's still nice. It's still Hitchcock's autograph. I'll put it up there. You put that poster up faster than Doug. Well, Hunter's here, so since Hunter's here, I put him to work. I said, "Hey, you hold this one side, I'll hold the other. We'll figure out." And we got all the pictures hung up today. The SJWs are going after Ethan Nicole of Axe Cop. What's that about?
Yeah, there was something about Axe Cop. Some people kept bringing it up in the chat earlier today. I don't know what it is.
That's just it never ends. Yeah, I know Ethan Nicole is kind of you know a right thinker, but good lord, you know. They will find you. They'll find you, and they're gonna make your life hell as we grow. They're gonna pursue as we grow. They're gonna try to do whatever they can to make it uncomfortable for people who want to be with us. I announced Dave Sim today, and
Yeah, I was going to ask, how did that go?
you know, well, I I think I think that first of all, when I was talking to Dave Sim, and I spent 2 hours talking to him a couple days ago. And I learned all about what he had gone through. And basically, Dave Sim, he wrote a story, and the story had a misogynist in it, a misogynist character. And for some reason, there's this whole big, wonderful essay about which is dark, icy cold misogyny. That's so fun to read. About how women are parasites that feed off of the light of men, of masculinity, and it's all true. But it's from the perspective of a misogynist. Well, some women are, not all women are, and I'm just kidding. But it's from the perspective of a misogynist. Well, anyway, these views or this essay got out there. I remember this happening. Everybody was talking about how Dave Sim was unhinged and he hated women. And I remember reading all the essay and going, God damn, kid, like woof, that is dark, like that is dark stuff. And then I kind of went, yeah, Dave Sim, there's something happened to him, like he hates women. Okay, and I watched as the industry unpersoned one of the greatest creators it had ever held. And I don't say that lightly. Dave Sim is one of the greatest creators, certainly like top 20 of all time, of all time. And comics lied about him and tossed him aside. Now, Dave Sim is he's clearly a conservative or something. I mean, he's more to the right of the spectrum. But he's not a misogynist. And Dave was telling me, hey, he's like, there was some friends of mine put out, because I was being treated this way and drummed out of the industry. Friends of mine put out a letter that just said, sign this if you will admit that Dave Sim is not a misogynist. This is the Dave Sim is not a misogynist petition, and only 6 people signed it. All of his friends. Think about all of his friends just walked away from him. Why? I mean, they had to know. And he said, I'm getting in touch with you because I'm watching the Marsha Clark, Darwin Cook situation happen to you. And he's like, they kind of did similar things to me. Marsha did kind of finally come out and just try to convince everybody that I am not a misogynist. I appreciate that. While Darwin was still alive, I did not feel welcome. I was invited to Darwin's memorial. I didn't feel welcome. Because here's the thing: in this binary world in which we inhabit, it has become you are either a feminist or you hate women. One of the two. And I am not a feminist, he says. He says, I am not a feminist. Therefore, I hate women, he said, and therefore I am not welcome in polite company. Because people who hate women are not welcome to walk around with everyone else. So that's the sort of situation that SJW set up. It's either 1 or 0. Either you are an SJW or you are a Nazi. And Nazis get punched, and Nazis are not allowed to walk around in conventions in polite society. So he just kind of said, hey, I kind of dropped out, in essence. He's like, now listen, he's like, what you're doing, he's like, did you really make $500,000 as a conservative in comics? And I said, no, 538,000 going on 600 right now. He's like, and he just laughed. He just thought that was so funny. Hang on, I gotta get a drink of water. I'll be right back. You guys,
yeah. All right.
You guys know Dave Sim? You ever followed his work?
I've read a lot of Cerebus, and I love that stuff. And obviously I think it's Spawn 8 that he wrote.
Right.
Oh, best Spawn issue.
Yeah, that Spawn issue was great. And he said, well, anyway, so Dave Sim said to me, he said, I want to stand with you guys. How do I do it? And I was like, well, he's like, do I go on ComicsGate? Like, he thinks ComicsGate is a show. Like, I'm trying to explain to him, I'm like, it's not a show. I mean, I have a YouTube channel that people come on, and you'd certainly be welcome. But Dave Sim doesn't have the internet. He doesn't have Wi-Fi. He's kind of like a Luddite. He uses fax. Like, he faxes me letters.
Oh, wow.
And I got on the phone with him and stuff, but he doesn't like answer the phone. He like monitors his voicemail, and then he'll either pick up or get right back to you. So I was like, it's going to be a challenge, Dave. It's going to be a challenge to do this. Like, if you don't have email. And he's like, well, you can FedEx me your scripts and FedEx me your ideas. So
my mom when the bills are due. I love this guy.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, all right. So this is what it's gonna cost to work with Dave Sim. Is I'm gonna have to just be like, all right. So I'm gonna write down my ideas, and then I'm gonna mail them. I'm literally gonna FedEx them to him. And then we're going to get on the phone, and I guess he's going to fax his writing to a third party who's going to send it to me. It's going to be cuckoo. It's going to be absolutely cuckoo, but it's Dave Sim. So, and anyway, so he's like, how do I get involved? And I was like, well, what do you want to do? And I said to him, I said, why don't you just write? I was like, Dave, why don't you write a 48-page anything? Come up with a new thing. And then give it to Kelsey Shannon to draw. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like if you team up with somebody like Dave Sim and Kelsey Shannon present Cat Face. I don't know, whatever you want to do, and then that would be great. Then we'll Indiegogo that, and that's how you could announce that you're part of ComicsGate. He said, who's writing Cyberfrog? And I said, me. He's like, oh, so nobody's writing Cyberfrog. I was like, damn. Oh, so you don't have a writer? And I was just like, are you implying? Are you insinuating that you wanna write Cyberfrog, Dave? And he's just like, well, I wouldn't. He's like, why don't you tell me about it? That was embarrassing. Having to try to tell Dave Sim my story about bugs. That was very awkward. But I did. I stumbled through it, and I said, "Well, that's basically the outline, you know." And it's like the way that I work. He's like, "Well, what do you have so far?" I was like, "Well, I don't write like that. I have the story outline, and then I draw it. I write in pictures. I draw it out, and then I'll go back and I'll dialogue it later. I don't, you know, I know the scenes. I know what needs to happen, and I mean, that's always been the way I've kind of produced a comic book, Marvel style, in essence." And he's like, "Oh." He's like, "Whoa." So anyway, we talked about it more, and I was just like, you know, maybe you want to maybe script doctor the first one, and then you want to come on with 2, 3, and 4. And he's like, "Yeah, that would be agreeable." So,
Oh man.
so it's this thing now. What's going to happen? I mean, you know, when I say Dave Sims writing Cyberfrog, what's going to happen? You know, is he going to receive more harassment? Now, Dave Sims said something to me that was interesting. He said, "What about Frank Miller? Does he want to come aboard?" I was like, "Well, he's your friend. I can't picture it right now." You know, here's the thing is, you know, you're talking like a liberal. You think we're up against other liberals who have gone astray. They're not liberals. These are SJWs. They don't. You can't appeal to them by saying, "Yeah, but freedom of speech, individuality, the things that you used to be able to say to good left wingers." You know that. Hey, more important than anything is, yeah, look at the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. What is that even around for anymore? You know what I mean? You know, the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund used to be around to save people from wrongthink, and uh, you know, there would be comic book professionals who would do extremist, weird garbage and then get in trouble legally, and then the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund would have to fight for them on First Amendment grounds. What are they even here for anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, they would entirely be fighting for right wingers now.
Oh yeah,
Against the industry itself. It's stunning. It's a stunning change of
this seems more like an alien invasion. I mean, to be honest with you,
I know. Yeah.
Definitely an invasion of the body snatchers.
Mm-hmm.
More of
I
invasion.
really had that. Go ahead.
Said it's more invasion of stupid. Can't believe our society has been invaded by this much stupid all at one time.
So yeah. So I mean, this is what I was trying to impress on, and I tell this to everyone who wants to join us. I'm just like, are you sure? Do you understand what you are up against? Like, you have to believe it in your heart. You have to know, you know, what you guys are saying. This seems like an alien invasion. This is weird. This is wrong. You have to know all that stuff, and you have to be, you know, willing to endure it, and to, you know, and to put up with some abuse, because, you know, you are going to, if Peter Simeti, he didn't choose this really. I mean, he kind of did. He kind of straddled the fence, and that's, I think, why he's getting pummeled right now. You have to just jump over whole hog, ready to fight, and understand who these people are, in order to survive it. So I'm like, I was like, Dave, Frank Miller is not gonna come to ComicsGate, even if he's just not. He's not gonna side with us because he already got his ass kicked over the Holy Terror Batman thing, and he's been fighting his way back to the good graces of the mainstream ever since.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I have this feeling like, I mean, these are corporations, so at some point they'll see the bottom line and either shut it down, severely reduce the output, or it'll be gone altogether. So, I mean, I don't think it'll be gone altogether. I mean, these are properties that will sell forever, but I just can't imagine. I mean, a whole swath of the industry will be out of work. So, a guy like Frank Miller has proven himself to be uh, independent. He can make his own thing. He's done it many, many times. So, you know,
It helps to have money in the bank. I think Frank does at this point. It really does. It helps to, you can stand on your own 2 feet, and I think a lot of these people who are against us, There's
Frank,
some that are true blue like SJWs, but some of them are broke and they're scared, so they can't stand with us.
yeah, I'm about to say if Frank don't have money, he's had at least 5 or 6 of his turned into motion pictures, like the 300, two Sin City movies, and then they've done a couple of the DVD releases on Dark Knight Returns. They did 2 different parts on that, and then I've heard they were doing another. So I'm like, if they're not using, you know what I'm saying? They use the stuff in Daredevil and all these different things. He's getting checks. So if man, that'd be sad if he was broke.
And if not, I got a couch out here. You can come on.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Ask Jim Starlin how much he made off of Infinity War, and
Oh, I saw. Yeah, Trey, he went public with that because he
so
thought they was kind of checking them checks a little bit. They
What
should
did
have
he
been.
get? What did he say?
like nothing.
No, that's what I'm saying. He did. I know there was an article, and he was just tearing them a new one because they was making all kinds of money off his ideas, and he was barely getting anything. So
Ken Jack Ben says, according to Google, Frank Miller has a net worth of $45 million. Yeah, check out my net worth on Google.
check out my net worth on Google.
Well, I mean, Google says I'm worth $16 million. You know what I mean? So it's like,
congratulations.
Thank you. Where is it?
On your couch?
I'm talking to a millionaire.
Yeah. I don't have $16 million.
That scene in Forrest Gump. We were talking to a millionaire the whole
time. Yeah. No, I don't think Google knows what anyone's net worth is. I think they just make that up. But Frank Miller has a little money because I think he just signed another. I think he got $1 million for Dark Knight Returns, whatever, Dark Knight Strikes Back. And then he probably that's probably a normal payday for Frank Miller for a big project at DC. And he just signed to do 3 more projects with DC. In a way, he's got to behave himself. What happened with
just writing, or is he drawing those projects? Because I was starting to get a little sad when I see the Frank Miller artwork now. It's the hands getting a little shaky there, I think.
Yeah.
Xerxes though.
Yeah.
I
saw some of that.
It's a lot better than the stuff he does for the companies, even though it's not where it used to be. But
yeah, 20 years ago, that hand was nice and steady, and I was like, oh man, okay.
IDZ 135 says Ethan's worth $16 million and he's reading $2 super chats that call him fat. Exactly. I would read them anyway because they're funny. Even if I had $16 million, I would still read those super chats. So Frank Miller, I just said, well, Frank's not, this isn't, I know it seems like a free speech issue, and it is, but it isn't. Like, those are not the stakes. The stakes are actually much greater than that, and they're much more terrifying than that. I mean, these people are nuts. SJWs are crazy and cruel and awful, and they will attack Dave Sim. Of course they will. They'll bring up old stuff. People are like, well, they're going to tar you with the same brush that they tarred him with because of his anti-feminist stuff. I'm like, oh, great. Well, they already do that anyway. They already say I hate women, and like I harass women and gays. So I don't know. Just say it again, but louder. I mean, what are you going to do at this point? They used up everything in their arsenal. What do they have left?
Don't ask that question.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm sure they'll find something. But I mean, once they call you a Nazi, seriously, you know what I mean? Like, once they call you a Nazi, I don't know where you go from there. I just feel like, okay, so that's pretty much the worst thing you can be. And I got people calling me that every day, and it hasn't really affected my life too much. I think most people know it's not true. And implicit in Nazi is anti-feminist. So you just be restating the same thing. I guess we just roll with it all the time. We just roll with the name calling and the abuse. And I just hope that someday it all kind of evens out. Someday this all becomes clear. History makes this clear to people.
God, if I hear that I'm on the wrong side of history one more time, I mean, as someone that studies history,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I'm on the right side of it.
of course. Like that's one thing that you can say with absolute surety. I don't like the phrase "wrong side of history" because history is written by the winners. There's no such thing as right or wrong side. There is right and wrong, though. There's just moral and immoral. There's American, there's anti-American, there's pro-freedom, pro-liberty, and anti-freedom and anti-liberty. And we are on the right side of all of those things. We're on the right side of all of those things. That could be argued. We'd win a case in court. That's where we stand. And it helps to know when you read these things that people are saying about you. It helps to realize that they're all lies. And I Andrew always asks me, like, "Are you okay? Are you bearing up under this?" I'm like, they're all lies. Like if any of this stuff was true, I'd be like, oh my god, like, yeah, they've figured me out, and it's shameful. Like they're exposing me for the monster I am, and that would be a thing. But like they're all lies. So if they're all lies and everything that they're saying is untrue about me, then clearly I'm on the right side of history, if such a thing exists, and they are on the wrong side of history because they're lying. So sometimes it's as simple as that. Sometimes it's as simple as that, Antonio. Truth or lies.
There's a lot of lies out there. A lot of lies.
Yeah, a lot of weirdo lies. Gojirify, $2. Will Fulfillment Center have a replacement policy? I would think so. Yeah, I mean, we want you to get your book in good shape. Obviously, Narwhal Books, $5. The effort required to refute bullshit is an order of magnitude greater than the effort required to create it. That's wow, what a true statement. And yeah, I wish we were in the creating bullshit business.
I mean, we could. I mean, we're actually creators on this side, so we could actually come up with some really good stuff.
We should. We should. Again, I mean, this is like they get to be undisciplined, unprincipled. They get to be liars. We don't get to be that. We can't be that. We can afford to be that. So it's interesting. Dale, the writer and artist for Knaz Comics, £5. Please give a shout out for my superhero comic Starclad, available now on Comixology and Indie Planet. Starclad.
Cool title.
Yeah, he's clad in stars. He's wearing stars. Sketch Therapy, $10. Happy birthday. Thank you. There are no socialist utopias without capitalist tanks. Fix them. I fix them. I'm U.S. Army 3rd Infantry 45K vet. Use spiritual weapons. Words and images are stronger than the physical ones I left behind. Eva Unit 02, $2. Kelsey, have you been blacklisted by the big two?
I don't know. I just stopped working with them.
Yeah, it's hard to really say. It's hard to tell, right? I mean, they don't tell you.
I don't think so. But I mean, I'm kind of a nobody. I've always been in the indies, stepping foot in the mainstream. So to me, I'm quite comfortable out here. So, I mean, I can take it or leave it. Them big companies. I mean, they're not the same that I grew up wanting to do. So, I mean, it's really kind of a moot point for me.
Yeah,
that's fair. Okay.
Trenchard 20, buy the man a laptop. Who? What man needs a laptop? Me? T-Town, $4.99. Buy the man a laptop. Buy Dave Sim a laptop. He doesn't.
Would he use it?
Yeah, he doesn't want it. Like he's like, no, I've avoided it. I'm like, well, you can't just avoid. He's like, I've avoided it. And I'm like, damn it, yeah, you have. That's not a good thing. But he's eccentric, I think, and we have to respect that. He's an artist. T-Town, $4.99. Happy birthday to you and my wife Natasha. She loves your videos.
I know.
I'm done. Thanks, T-Town. What were you saying, Antonio?
I like that. Right.
Blue Satoshi, $2. Digital faxing's a thing. Yeah, I heard about that. He told me that. Dear the Red Shirt 5. Thank you. Nice. I come home for lunch and my favorite creators are having a chat. Monday saved. Greetings from Switzerland and keep it up. Let's go to Switzerland. I would love to go visit Switzerland and go skiing with Kelsey and Ben. Not Antonio. Antonio's not invited.
Oh, wow.
You don't get to come to Switzerland with us, Antonio. Stay home.
That actually kind of hurts my feelings a little bit. I thought we were cool now.
All right, you can come. You can come to Switzerland. We're gonna ski. We're gonna. What do they have in Switzerland? Chocolate, right?
Chocolate, and I want Swiss chocolate from Switzerland. That is something I would like to have, and I'd also like to open up a secret Swiss bank account.
Only if I get to yell out where the white women at when we get there.
They're everywhere.
They're probably everywhere.
My buddy was overseas, man, and he was coming over there, and he came back. He's like, "Dude, you gotta go to like Germany, man. They love black dudes over there." I was
That's true.
And he was like, "Yeah." He come out of Iraq, and he was like, "Man." He said, all the black guys that was in my barracks and stuff. He said, "Man, they were just swimming in it, man. It was like the girl was loving them dudes over there." And I was like,
"Hey,
they love
Blacklist Universe is here. Mike S. Miller, why don't you come in here? Why don't you come into our chat?" And also Elizabeth Breitweiser's on. So,
okay, watch your language. We got a lady.
They're in the audience. The link to all this, of course, is in the ComicsGate live DM stream. The key to get in. So you guys should come in.
Green room.
Yeah, it is. It's the green room. That's exactly
the secret room, the private room.
Not to be construed as the champagne room.
No,
it's not the champagne room.
It's not the champagne room. Let's see. Alfred McKay, $20. Thank you. Let me bid a very happy birthday, Sir Van Skyver, as well as sending my appreciation to these distinct gentlemen on the screen, and my regards to all the good people who support Cyberfrog. Much obliged. Thank you, Alfred McKay. What a dignified super chat and message. Appreciate you. Kelsey, is Miles Gunther an SJW? Asks Eva Unit 02.
No, he's old school liberal. So, he has passions, about the environment and women's, rights, and the same thing we all do, really. I mean, but he's not into the whole, arguing online and calling people Nazis. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, no.
Yeah, I'm glad. But I mean, it seems like everybody can be turned. It's like everybody's gonna liberals just kind of become SJWs when they're scared.
He's smart. Let's put it that way.
Oh, good. Yeah, good. People are telling you to clean your glasses, Kelsey. I don't know why they're saying that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's weird.
I will.
Huba Bakanda, thanks for $4.99. Happy birthday, Uncle E. Birthday cake or pie? Jim Gaffigan says candles and a pie means someone's drunk in the kitchen. Sounds like a great birthday. I think I'm gonna have a cake maybe today. A lemon cake.
He wants lemons.
Yeah, I like lemon. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Here's a guy named Milk My Mantates. $10. Well, that's good. That's a good name. Good day, boys. I'm not sure if I should thank you, EVS, or hate you. I've never read comics before finding you online. Now, can't wait to read Cyberfrog. Well, that's great. That is awesome. Welcome.
Does that mean Cerebus is going to make a little cameo in Cyberfrog? That would be cool, actually. But
we would do that. We would do that. Hilarious. Yeah, I would have to draw him. I don't think Dave can draw anymore. I think he has difficulty. He's 62 years old. Oh man, does that mean 62? You can't draw.
It's coming up. Get ready.
I don't know, man. I look at other guys, and there are people who drew well into their 80s. I want to be like that.
Neil's still taking commissions. I know that. Like Neil Adams is still taking. They're a little pricey on his website though. Because I was like, God, he's cost a fortune just to get
for him.
How old was Buscema?
How
How old was Buscema when he passed?
Hey, that's a good question. Like, because he drew right up to the end too, didn't he? I mean,
He had like stomach cancer or something, didn't he? Or something.
Gil Kane drew into his 80s, I think. Hold on, let's see. John Buscema, he was 1927, 70. I hate to amass 73, 75 years old.
Oh wow.
75 years old when he died.
Oh,
Gil Kane.
Hubert.
Who? Kubert? Oh yeah, Kubert. Definitely.
Joe Kubert, yeah.
He drew up until the end. Yeah, Gil Kane. So, Gil Kane was 74, and he was still drawing.
Wow.
My man, Gil Kane.
Yeah, I love Gil Kane. That's like classic Silver Age. You know, like man, that's the way I love that look, that kind of classic style. Like that.
Definitely. Yeah. So I'm gonna have a all right. I hope to be drawing until my 80s, unless I don't have to. I don't know. Honestly, here's the thing: if you were very, very wealthy, would you still draw every day?
Yep.
Probably.
You just be like Stan Lee and just sign your name and stuff. Yeah.
Because I don't think I could stop being a creator. You know, because I don't do it for the money now, so I would still create.
I have to think about it. I might just want to spend more time with my family. It's a lonely. I mean, drawing all the time is lonely. You know, you're by yourself. You're in the. I'm down here in the basement. I would much rather be doing almost anything else these days. You know,
it's a form of meditation, though. I mean, I solve a lot of my issues and my problems. I think about things thoroughly through when I'm drawing. You know, it's meditation for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here drawing snow because of somebody in the chat. So, and I'm using that time. You know, I'm thinking about 90 other things while I'm drawing these little divots of snow and stuff. So, yeah, I can understand the meditation side.
I just play piano. I get up and I'll just stand by the piano and just start playing stuff. And you know, I like that. And writing stupid songs. Andrew was like, "You haven't written songs lately." I'll write more songs because I'm playing the same old songs over and over again to my chat. Same old songs over and over again.
He said, "I've always wondered, were you self-taught as an artist, or did you actually go to like art school, or how did you?"
Oh, self-taught. Yeah, I didn't go to any art school. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
As good as you are, that's shocking.
I'm not that good. I mean, you know, it's just if you do anything every single day for 25 years, you're going to be really, really good. I mean, you're going to get better at it. And that's true of anything. I mean, you know, not a lot of people just focus on something, on a task, unless it's a video game anymore. I tried to get my son into guitar. You know, Hunter. I made him go to guitar lessons when he was about 13, and he went to guitar lessons for 2 years. And he's like, I don't want to, you know, I'm like, look, you're going to go to guitar lessons and you're going to learn how to play guitar because eventually, you know, in your 20s at some point, possibly, you're going to pick up the guitar. I hope, you know, I hope. And you're going to remember the few lessons that you had. You're going to remember the fundamentals you learned and you're going to teach yourself guitar. That's if you're my son. If you're anything like me. If you're nothing like me, then if you're like your mom, then, you know, you're whatever. You know, his mom isn't Andrea. It's, you know, my first wife. But if you're like me, I mean, you know, my mom took me to piano lessons, and I maybe I got 4 or 5 piano lessons when I was like very young, and the piano lessons consisted of I learned how to play the Battle Hymn of the Republic with 2-finger chords.
Glory, hallelujah.
Yeah, you know, just a very simplified version of that. And I learned where the keys were on the piano. So I knew where middle C was. I knew all the notes. And then
play Axel F, that like dun, 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 dun,
that's what everybody used to do in the 80s. In the 80s, like people have bought like cheesy like Casio keyboards and they would all be like meh, 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 meh. You know, it was just like or they'd play Jump by Van Halen.
Oh yeah, I love that. Oh man, I
Yeah.
used to love that song though. That was a big hit. That was like, but I laughed. But that guy, whoever did the Axel Foley theme song, that guy made a ton of money. Especially they're even talking about doing another Beverly Hills Cop movie. I'm like, he's old as hell now. I was like, he's filing for retirement. He's like, what, 55 years old now? So I'm like, okay.
What was that tune from Fletch? Do you remember that one? That was real.
Oh man, I love Fletch. So
yeah, it had something similar to that.
Yeah, the Fletch Lives was horrible though, but the first Fletch, loved it. I was like, man, I remember that Fletch theme song. Yeah, if I heard it now, I'd be like, oh yeah. No,
I gotta go find it.
yeah, that's gonna drive me nuts. I used to like Fletch was badass though. I was like,
Maybe
I actually heard they were gonna bring Fletch back, but I'm trying to remember they were gonna change it and there was gonna be a black actor that was gonna play Fletch. I remember.
Of course.
Yeah.
a black woman.
Well, yeah. Fletcher's trans.
Great.
I was like, yeah, but somebody, I was trying to think, it wasn't Chris Rock, it was maybe Kevin Hart or something like that. It was somebody, that's like the hot, because there's always a hot black actor, it's like there can only be one, so right now it's Kevin Hart. So Kevin Hart has to play all the roles. Now it's like, I need someone to play the Incredible Hulk. Let's hire Kevin Hart. It's like Black Panther. Let's hire Kevin Hart. It's that guy. Like,
Oliver Probst says Van Halen was an Oberheim synth, no Casio. Well, nobody used a Casio in real songs. It's just a Casio's, like everyone had a Casio keyboard at home.
Yeah, it was mass produced. It's meant to be cheap so that more people could afford it.
Yeah, so that you could play in your living room.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing.
Maybe Ethan should start rapping. That'll be a good venture for him to do.
Oh, you don't want me to do that.
Why not? Have you
Terrible.
seen today's rappers? You fit just in. You'll be fine.
Oh man, yeah. Just talk about like lean or whatever other thing that they're on, and popping pills, and you're in there, man.
Yeah. See, there you go.
There you go.
Well, it's not. Like I like old school stuff. My son can't listen to that. My son doesn't like NWA. Like he listens to like Drake and everything is. Like it's always the same kind of like.
I've had a start no trouble with me.
It's just yeah.
Struggle for me.
Like
I saw him live because of that thing was hype, man. He turned it up.
I do like that. I do like the I'm sorry, but I do like the that thing about they used to call me on my sound on my what's it?
Yes.
I know when that hotline bling.
Yeah, there you go.
I was like, yeah, that was my jam. Ever since I left the city, you.
Yeah, I just found the whole Van Halen thing. Hold on. All right, let me see if I can play it. There it is. Sweet. I have it on my keyboard.
Oh wow.
I don't know. But that's the sound, yeah. Oh my god, guys. This is all you need to do. You need to have a studio where you can just be creative in just various ways. It's a good thing. Dom Casey says, fuck Drake. Fuck Drake, he says. I do like Drake. I went to one of his concerts with Hunter. It was a good time. He's all right. Let me see if I have any Drake music on my iPad. You'd be surprised. I have a variety of. I have everything from Johnny Cash to Lil Wayne. I like it all.
Ooh, you sound like me. I confuse the hell out of other black people.
It's what you're in the mood for. It's like you're in a different mood all the time. Yeah, I do. I have. Let me see what's on my. I have. If you're reading this, started from the bottom. Take care. Thank me later. Views 0 to 100. The single, and then 9 a.m. in Dallas, the single. So those are all the Drake things on my iPad right now. 10
bands, 50 bands, 100 bands. I love that joint. That's my joint right there. I love it. Like, yeah, man.
My friend, I got Drake because I got in my friend's car, and he had a song playing. It was like, "Oh, you fancy, huh? "Oh, you fancy, huh?" And I went, "What is this?" And he's
Hair
like,
done, nail done, everything did.
"Yeah." I was like,
Yeah, I love that. That's joint
he-
too.
he's like, "You don't know Drizzy?" I'm like, "Drizzy, what the?"
Oh my god, that
Oh.
just sounds so bad. You don't know
Drizzy.
Drizzy? You got
No,
to
well,
get hip to the
he
Drizzy,
was
man.
black though. If it was a white guy, it would have been cringe. But he
That
was black.
sounds it makes me cringe when black people say that. And I was like, I like Drake, and I was like, I'm not calling you Drizzy, man. Stop that.
It was
Stop
way
it.
back. But yeah, like I went to see him. He was like, he was flying above the audience. He had a platform that like he was above us all, like the Lord Jesus Christ. And I was like, wow, that's cool. How can we get that into conventions? Let's talk about what ComicsGate convention should actually be like. I mean, I would like that. I'd like Kelsey Shannon like flown in on wires.
Oh wow.
Not like just how you would just walk in and sit down. I don't want that. I want like spotlights, ladies and gentlemen, signing in booth 5, Kelsey fucking Shannon, like that. And then Kelsey comes in like just on ropes, and he does it. They make him do one of those cartwheels in midair, like when you're suspended on wires. You know how they can do that. And then he comes down and he lands perfectly in his seat.
But he's got to be wearing like assless chaps.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Oh, like Prince or something. Like, yeah, I remember Prince did that when
Uh-huh.
yeah, when he did what was this song on MTV? He did Pussy Control. And I love that song. Pussy Control. I was like, all right, man, get it, man. Yeah.
That's
Prince
how
was a freak.
Prince was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
The best song. Let me tell you, baby, I'm a talented boy. Fucking love that line. Oh my god, so awesome, so awesome. I want my funeral to be like that. I want my funeral to be a big stage production. Preferably with a magician. Like, I want Kelsey to come out. Kelsey would be the magician. I want Kelsey to come out in a sequin tuxedo, and my coffin will be there, and Kelsey will have like 2 hot chicks with him. I want him to pull out a bow saw and cut my coffin in half, and then spin it around. My legs will be sticking out one end, my head the other end.
That is some demented shit.
Put it back together again. Ta-da. I want that whole thing, man. That'd be awesome.
I used to love, Hunter S. Thompson was his cremated and then shot out of a cannon. I mean, I couldn't think of a better way to go. Except for maybe that what you just said.
Oh, it'd be so funny. The other thing I want is the 4 tops behind me wherever I go. I want the 4 tops, or like I don't know, just 4 black guys who roll their hands, like the black, like just my hands, and like and they would repeat the last 3 words of everything I said and do a little dance behind me wherever I go. So they'd stand in front of me. I'd be like the front man. And they would be like, I'd be Smokey Robinson, and they'd be the Miracles behind me.
You do know SJWs just like spontaneously combust with that little. He wants black people he wants them to be slaves to him.
No, I just want them to dance and behind me and repeat everything I say. So if I say, yeah, Cyberfrog number 2 will come out in February of 2019. They're gonna go February of 2019, and then do a little kind of step back, and you know what I'm talking about, like the Jackson 5 kind of dance.
Sugar pie, honey bun.
Everywhere I go, I want that to go on. I want to look like the front man to a Motown group wherever I go. That's just another idea that I have about. I just want to change things. I want conventions to be more fun. I want game shows at conventions. And I don't see why we couldn't do that.
You remember Polito back on his convention circuit, man? He had like lights flashing and like rock and roll playing, and you knew where he was. It was like, that's definitely Polito over there.
Yeah. We need to do stuff like that. We need to do more interesting things. When we do ComicsGate conventions, there need to be lights and sirens. There needs to be more of a stage show. I mean, I'm not saying that we have to bring Ben in on wires. I'm not saying we have to do that and make him do like somersaults in midair.
Oh
But-
wow.
Hey, I thought that was Kelsey's job.
Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, that was Kelsey.
Well, I think everyone has to do something, you know. I mean, like I'll ride a unicycle in, you know, or something like that, juggling. But I mean, you know, I'm not saying we have to do that, but we have to do something. You know, it has to be something has to be unique about this so that there's more showmanship. Conventions are so depressing now. They're like just it's like merchantry. It's just you know, depressed marketing. You walk through Artist Alley and you see a bunch of like weirdos. Excuse my fellow artists, that we are weirdos,
Yes,
and
we are.
they're all sitting behind the table like, please come.
I hate it.
You must see my book. You're on exhibit. You're begging people for attention. I don't. You know, it's like I don't want attention. I don't want to be in a position where I have to beg people for attention either. I mean, that's a bad thing.
I went recently to one in San Antonio, and I hadn't been in years. I don't even know how long, but you know, I had my, you know, I would just sat at the table with all my junk, and I usually was standing up talking to everybody, and nobody was really buying anything, and everybody else had like big stands, and like they had people lined up on their, you know, at their table, and they were all at the end of the night, they would all gather around me and try to teach me how to sell stuff. You know, it was hilarious. I'm like,
teaching you how to sell stuff.
yeah, like you know, there's a whole thing. You got to have things up at like eye level so that when people are walking by, they can see it. And I'm just like, you know, I'm not really a salesman in that way. You know, conventions to me were a chance to like meet people and get stuff signed. Really, so
Not anymore. It's center of commerce in the comics now.
Oh, hey, Dave Sim just officially agreed. He is officially working on Cyberfrog.
right on.
Excellent. Like I mean, officially. We had a verbal agreement. Here's a written agreement. So we are good. It's gonna happen. Excellent. So weird, man. Dave Sim's writing Cyberfrog.
I love that.
That's crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah, you know, I was a little concerned because you were like, I'm not really a writer, but I can tell a story, and I was like, I heard Todd McFarlane say that.
Yeah. But he did fine though.
I mean, yeah, the book sold, but I'm gonna be honest. Some of that stuff he wrote, I was like, okay, that got a little weird. I was like, okay, dialogue.
Yeah. I'm none too confident of my own abilities. I will say this though. I've seen comic book writers. You know what I mean? Like I see some of these guys. I read comic books, and I know I can write better than these people. Some of them. You know what I mean?
Does Mark Waid sniff his armpits? He looks like that kind of guy. He looks like.
Classy to me goes, are you opening your mail while doing this live stream EVS? Well, I mean, I have 6 iPads all around me. So I've got, you know, the screen here. I'm doing that. So I can just go to my email, and I've been looking for a response. I basically, here's what, like.
Whoa. He emailed it to you?
No, the third party did. A picture of a fax. Do you understand? Wow. Like that's what's going on right now. I'm communicating with him through a third party with fax pictures. And I call him up. He's like, everything. This guy that I'm talking to is I guess he just does all of Dave's business stuff for him. Yeah, I just call him up, and he goes, yeah, deal with Benjamin about all this stuff, blah blah blah. Anyway, yeah, I just got a picture of a fax, a PDF of a fax. And he just wants me to, he said, what I would like is, he wants me to advertise cerebusdownloads.com all the time. So cerebusdownloads.com, that you can get, if you want to know Dave Sim's work in advance of Cyberfrog. He has a whole website called cerebusdownloads.com. It's you get issues 1 to 300, 6,000 pages, and it's $99. So it's everything Cerebus, every issue of Cerebus, the best deal in comics ever.
I'd recommend finding them phone books too, because man, I got all of them actually on my shelf, and there's something great about having those phone books in your hand, just reading them. Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you get if you don't want to hold a phone book in your hand and read it, I mean, and that's hard to do in bed. It's like I like to read comics right before I go to sleep, so it's good to have them on your iPad. This is you get everything. You get every issue of Cerebus for $99 digitally, and that's cerebusdownloads.com. Cerebus is CEREBUS, and then downloads.com. And that's great. Yeah, this is good, guys. What a get. I mean, they didn't like this. I will tell you, the SJWs, first of all, they thought that they were like, is this bullshit? Are you just lying? Are you just lying about getting Nazism? I'm like, oh my God, I love that you're saying that. That means that it really concerns you. No, we got him. We got him. He's working with us. And if this works out, I love the idea of him creating something new. But he's working on a gigantic project. He's working on a gigantic project of his own that he's been working on for 10 years. And he's like, that takes all my time. That's one reason why he thinks he's not quite sure about doing a brand new thing of his own. But, in any case, if we could, it'd be nice to get some new stuff out of Dave Sim, and to get, even if it's like horror stuff or a comedy, humor, superhero, whatever it is, whatever he wants to do, and just get these artists to draw it for him, it would be pretty terrific, because he doesn't draw anymore. So
shoot, I'd love to do one.
Yeah. I'm telling you. Can you imagine? And again, I mean, let me just reiterate for those people who don't understand how big a deal this is. So in 1991, Todd McFarlane, he had just started doing Spawn. He had all the money in the world. And he decided, just to kind of flex a little bit and to have fun, he's like, I'm gonna hire, I'm going to hire the 4 best writers in comics to write Spawn stories for me. And those 4 writers were Neil Gaiman, Alan Moore, Frank Miller, and Dave Sim.
That is true.
Yes. And we've got Dave Sim now working with us at ComicsGate.
Yeah, but him and Neil ended up suing each other.
Yeah,
that was not a good thing.
Nobody sued Dave Sim, though. They just ostracized him for being a righty. And I'm telling you something, man. This is the noble purpose of ComicsGate. How dare this industry ostracize for political reasons a creative person? Can you imagine? Can you imagine that? Like publishers not publishing Edgar Allan Poe? You know what I mean? During their day, during his day. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine Sir Arthur Conan Doyle being ostracized by the stupid fucking publishing industry of his day and not being allowed to write any more Sherlock Holmes stories? This industry needs to grow the fuck up. I'm tired of it. Wake up, grow. You're gonna ostracize somebody like Dave Sim and not allow him to do comics because you deliberately misinterpreted what he said, what he wrote in one of his stories? How dare you? Who are you people? Like, history is bigger than you. The future is bigger than you. You have no right to do that. It's not your place to do that. These SJWs need to be stopped. So ComicsGate is basically just saying, hey, we are, people like Chuck Dixon, people like Mike Barron, this creative talent, Mike Miller, me, Kelsey Shannon. Kelsey's not blacklisted, but these people who are having trouble because of their politics, historically, this is the solution to all of that. Adrian Stone, $14.99. Happy birthday, Ethan. Here, go get yourself a Ouija board to talk to Dave. We don't need a Ouija board, but maybe tin cans and a string. I don't know how this is gonna work, but we'll make it work. Sino Fox, $10. Is there any chance for a tier on the new Cyberfrog that is $10 more? With that bonus going to charity, as I missed out on supporting the Orchid Foundation? No, you didn't. No, just remember, anything that you donate to Cyberfrog, a percentage of it is going to the Orchid Foundation. So it's the whole thing is charitable. Kendra T, thank you for $2. Would Dave Sim fax himself to ComicsGate Con? Yeah. We'd fly him in. A chariot of some sort. No, a horse-drawn carriage. like in the beginning of Universal's Dracula. Gojirified, $20. Last question, EVS. Since the packing and shipping of the comics will be by the fulfillment center, will you do an overprint in case of damaged books so they can replace them if needed? Nightmares of Amazon and Diamond. Yeah, we will do an overprint for many reasons, but one of those reasons will be just in case we get damaged books. EVS, I find it groovy that you dig the street lingo, but can you break dance? Says Low Res Boy. Let me tell you something. I was there in those days. We've talked about this. I was there. I was popping it, locking it.
Oh man,
I was doing all that.
Ethan, you were a B-boy?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. I was only like 8, but yeah.
Watching breaking.
Yeah. Electric Boogaloo. I was doing that head spin. You better believe it. Blue Satoshi says, got to bring it up an octave for jump. All right, let's try again. Thank you, Blue Satoshi. You're exactly right. Oh, it's cheap. Yeah. Well, I'm just making it up. I don't know. But you're right. That sounds much better. I don't know. Let me look it up. I'll learn how to play that today because that's pretty funny. Nathan Norman says fail. Yeah, I did fail. Well, I know how to, I can't play everything. Is that the same keyboard sound as Power of Love? No, probably not. Everyone's saying yikes, fail. Well, but it is. It's the exact same sound.
Who sings Power of Love? Because I know Glory of Love from Peter Cetera.
I like that song too. I always play that song. Wait, okay, ready?
Huey Lewis in the News, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. That's the power of love. Okay, yeah.
Okay, ready?
Back to the Future sound.
Tonight it's very clear as we're both lying here. All right.
There's so many things I want to say. It makes me miss my tape deck. I used to have a cassette tape, and it was like, now everybody talking about cassette players. And they're like, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Gotta love y'all. Remember, check my pin tweet. It says Narwhal Books. Yeah, go to Narwhal Books and look at his pin tweet. It's a comic book. Happy birthday, Uncle E. Buy yourself a Starclad comic from Comixology with this money as a birthday gift. X says Potter Mad. Thank you. Fandom Stranger, thanks for $2. Cake to you. I made a new video that you may like. Yeah, Casca 52, $5. They talk about being on the right side of history to distance and justify the nasty way they're acting in the present. Yeah, I mean they are acting nasty. They're totally being buttholes. I think that's fair to say.
Butthole demons, according to Doug.
They are.
Well, they're sending pictures of their buttholes, so I think that's quite accurate.
Yep,
it's true. Hey, Horror Hero Comics, Ethan, dude, we've never chatted on Twitter, but you have been blocked on Twitter. LOL, unblock kid, and happy birthday at Defining Artist. That's not true. And thanks for $5. Hey, EVS, curious if ComicsGate might want or need services from a highly trained software engineer, maybe help you build up your online platform. Yeah, since we're not really a thing yet, I mean, we're not an organization. This is the thing that people, what would you call us at this point? We're just an idea. It's not like there's a banner or I don't know how you would describe us. We're just like people who kind of believe the same thing, and we're supportive of each other because, this industry is rotten to people who hold right-wing views, nasty, evil. And so we're supportive of each other, but we're not yet. There isn't like a ComicsGate thing yet. And I'm not saying that there won't be one day, but at the moment, we're all kind of these individuals who are, it's kind of guerrilla marketing at this point. We're just out there, doing our own comics. And I see it as something that I want to do. I want to support everyone who's producing a book, who believes in ComicsGate values. I want them to come on to my show and promote their books and do very well. But I mean, right now there's no banner, and maybe there will be, because it would be pretty cool. Would it be? I'm not sure, Kelsey. What do you think about starting a company?
Well, it would be really nice to have all these places, all these books in one place that people can find easily. But with a company, you need some form of leadership and control, and because we're going to be busy making things, so maybe all you need is a website that directs you to all these different properties.
Yeah, because everybody gets along till money's involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a website would make sense, because it's like, hey, these are ComicsGate creators that we all kind of generally, uh, we know of. I mean, you can't know of everyone. People have to actually say, hey, I'm ComicsGate. Um, uh, you know, that might be a good idea
Well, because
without
right
having a
now
company.
on Twitter, there's I don't want to name names, but there's definitely a lot of people that ride every time there's some sort of movement. They attach their stuff to it. It's like, hey, why don't you just come out and do a book and join the party? Instead of just trying to capitalize on every everything that happens in this what's going on. So it's
Yeah.
not
Any Dynamo says companies mean infighting. I agree. And I don't want to. Yeah, I don't like. I don't want to have to answer for ComicsGate or anyone else, really. I mean, that's the thing, is like, I get like people projecting stuff onto me that is just absolutely crazy. Hey, you tell these other comic skaters what to do, or to tell them to stop it. What the hell? It's not my job. I'm an adult. I assume everyone else is an adult. I'm not the Pope. I'm not anybody's spiritual mentor. I don't care what they do. Do whatever you want to do. It's like, and don't ask me about it. It's like, part of being a company too is, yeah, like Kelsey said, there's going to be a leader. And hey, I don't want to be a leader. I
I don't
don't.
want to be led.
Yeah, it's like, no. Immediately you get all this hate. No, no, no. I get enough hate as it is. I'm doing just fine. So, and I don't think Zach wants to be leader either. And we're the two guys who get the most kind of, when these articles come out, it's like, what is ComicGate? Oh, it's Zach from Diversity in Comics, and it's Ethan Van Sciver. So
Yep.
it's one of the two of us, and I don't want it, and he don't want it. So
Okay, I'll take it.
Kelsey, you'll do it.
No.
Can you imagine?
Hey, Antonio, you ready to get down on the leadership of this?
No.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was like, yeah, definitely
well,
not. 'Cause
we could do it. They don't like attacking us blacks in
Oh,
Comics.
yes,
they've
they
been
do.
attacking me all right. I mean, they've been at me, so I
They
was like,
do.
yeah,
Not as
I'm
much
not.
as other guys. They don't come at us as hard.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's they'll throw a little shade, and then I'll chime in, and they go, "Okay, let's go back to talking to the white guys." Like I'm just it's like, yeah, it's weird.
See,
So
we could be the great black shield of Comicsgate. See?
yeah, no, it's like, yeah, I don't,
The only problem
yeah,
with being a shield, you get hit first.
when I heard that the diversity shield thing, I was like, "What the fuck is that? I don't know what that is." I
Oh,
was
I
like,
hate these
"Diversity
people. I'm so
shield."
tired of them.
I was like, "Yeah," and then, like I said, is one idiot the other day on my page. You've aligned yourself with a known racist. And I was like, "Okay."
Known.
I
The
was
word
like,
known.
and that's why I said, "Known to whom?" I was like, "To whom is he known?" Because I'm like, "Okay."
That's what I kept telling him. It's like, that's against my self-preservation. You do realize that. I mean, I do like living. So
Yeah.
to me to be aligned with racists, I mean, that's kind of
It really is. You at this point, I kind of have gotten used to it, and I don't even hear it anymore. I just shut it out. But it really is incredibly arrogant and cruel and rude, and to call somebody racist like that.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, it's like you're fully aware. Like I'm fully aware that they're doing this just as a way to punish me, because I'm not racist. There's no evidence that I've ever been racist. There's not me behaving in a racist way ever, saying racist things, or else there'd be lots of it out there. You'd see tons of this, me saying racist things, but they just do that as a means to punish you and to hurt you, break you down, like make people skeptical of you. It really is evil. It really is like a sin. I know these words don't mean anything to SJWs, but that is a sinful thing to do. You are lying to people when you say things like that.
They don't
And there are
care.
plenty.
They get more clicks.
Well, is it? I mean, now it's the thing about it is that if I'm a racist, then racism is a pretty humdrum thing that's not easy to notice. It's pretty bland. It's I here it makes it not mean anything anymore. You
Yep.
call someone racist and they just go, yeah, well, whatever. So's everyone. So I guess everyone's racist then.
Yeah. So when the real one comes out and you say, "Oh, look, it's a racist," everybody's like, "Oh yeah, another one."
Skeptical.
Look, I live in Louisiana in Baton Rouge, and
Baton Rouge.
yeah, I mean, there are racist people here. I mean, I've rarely, I don't think I've personally ever met one, but I guarantee they wouldn't like any of those people saying that you're racist.
Racism is like ketchup these days. It's used on everything, says Pete Mack. Yeah.
It's a catchword. They know that word is going to raise all kind of flags, and the internet lynch mob is going to run out there because they heard the word, and they're going to defend whatever somebody else, whoever called the racist. So this is the first time I've heard this many white people call other people racist. I'm serious.
It's all white people, isn't it? I mean,
just about. I mean, you got Kwanzaa, who technically is white.
Kwanzaa's fun.
No, you can have him. You can have him. We took his black card. No, he's all yours, Ethan.
No thanks.
He started talking all that Uncle Tom Coon stuff. That stuff was getting on my nerves, man.
Yep. I snatched his card. Nope. Yeah, you can't have this card no more.
I was like, man, that stuff gets old, man.
Your Negro pass has been denied. You cannot come to this.
I'm like, I'm on some serious stuff, man. You got somebody whose mother, actually, did work with Dr. King. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and I'm cooning, really?
Yeah.
Okay, bro. I'm like, okay. I'm like, don't talk that nonsense. I'm like, we really, I came from some serious stuff in Alabama when, it was some real stuff going on down there when I was a little boy. So I was like, yeah, these guys, man, and they throw these words around and they don't mean anything to them. They don't understand. Especially when you've been. I was like I said, I was in the real South. I'm like actually living in the South. And I mean, the way they get down in Alabama and Mississippi
and Louisiana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's on some real it's on a whole nother level.
I'm suspect of Kelsey. He said he's from Baton Rouge, so no, man, I've been chased through the woods by KKK members, trying to make it to my house before I end up getting shot. I've been through the real shit. Yeah.
What happened?
Oh, well, this is gonna sound as bad as possible, but me and friends were stealing watermelons at a
what the hell? Me till you said watermelon, bro.
I know. It's like I didn't want to say it, but I'm being truthful.
How old were you?
In Louisiana, and we stumbled upon
were you a little kid?
A nice little group.
It's just like when Jameis Winston and they got on him for stealing them crab legs. I was like, God damn it. come on, man.
No,
Why it gotta be so? It's gotta be food, man. Why you got?
we were young kids. We didn't, we were out there being stupid out in the middle of the country. So,
Mm.
but yeah, I've had the KKK march in front of my high school, in front of my house. I've been spit on by white people, and called everything from the worst to the best.
No,
So
no, that happened to me. I was in school and I was in the lunch line, and
The
this
chat's going.
the white kid spit on me. The lunch lady saw him spit on me, and she was just like, "Next."
yeah,
I
like what?
was like, "You're not gonna do anything, really? You just literally watched them hawk a loogie on me. It was
Yeah,
horrible." Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You want some extra mashed potatoes with that? I need
Yeah.
you to keep moving.
I
I
was
was just
telling a friend of mine a story. He's from California. He didn't believe racism really existed, at least in my lifetime. So I told him a story where, I had our school was about 50-50 black and white, and then there was a couple of Vietnamese and maybe one Mexican, I think, was in. He looked black, so he just came to the black side.
you just got
So
adopted.
yeah, yeah, he's like, "You dark, so come on over." But I had a bunch of white friends, especially playing football and basketball and running track. And when you get invited to somebody's house or you playing outside at somebody else's house, everybody else could go in, but you couldn't. And you knew it. It wasn't like somebody had to tell you, it was what was expected. And that was the kind of environment I lived in. I did have some white friends that their family were completely cool. It wasn't none of that. But some of them, you went there, you knew your place was to be on the porch, and they would all bring out the drinks and all the other shit, and everybody could have a good time on the porch. But your black ass wasn't allowed in that house, and you knew it.
Hmm.
No, this is my favorite. When I would go over to there was a friend of mine's house, and they would specifically leave out piles of coins and stuff to see if someone would possibly take a few shekels.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god! And I did, and I was like, yeah, and I was like, okay, so I didn't take anything, and I guess I passed the test, and my buddy was like, oh, they counted the money after you left. Everything's still there. They said you can come back. I
Damn.
was like, what
Jesus.
the? I was like, wow, what was that? I didn't know.
Yeah,
Well, what's,
this shit goes on in America. People don't want to realize that it does.
well, what is
Of
the
course it
difference
does.
now? What is the difference between a bigot and a racist?
Shit, none. I'm
Hmm.
running from both of y'all.
Like that's what That's like well, in the case of Archie Bunker, who is a quote unquote bigot, they give you Emmys. They was like, oh, he's a bigot, but he's a lovable bigot.
Well, I guess a bigot would be, the racist is only worried about the race. The bigot just hates everybody.
Oh, okay. Because I thought, okay, well, then I have met racists here. I just assumed bigots were just kind of like, I don't like black people, but I'll tolerate them or whatever. I didn't. And racists are the real evil kind that you see. So I didn't really know that. But yeah, okay. Well, there's tons
I
of them
think
here.
racists are more like they have a philosophy. Like I've seen racists on YouTube, and they have these kind of like white supremacy channels, and they have a thought out philosophy about the ethno state and how they go, do you think white people deserve their own country? Yes or
No,
no?
yeah, I saw Jared Taylor, and he was getting interviewed. Somebody interviewed him, and I mean, the thing about somebody like Jared Taylor is he's not an inbred hick. He's extremely intelligent, speaks multiple languages, plays several different instruments, so he's extremely well tailored, well spoken. So when he goes, "I am not a racist. I'm a white rights advocate."
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then he gets to speaking and talking about, well, we believe the blacks should have their own separate country. Perhaps we could take a couple of the states and allow the blacks to live there.
We
And then,
tried that. It's called Black Wall Street. See what happened
yeah,
at that place.
yeah, it was just like, yeah, I was like, man, he gets to talking. And I was like, it's smooth though. He's not talking about, y'all need to just go on back to Africa and do all that. He's not talking all that. He's talking he's extremely persuasive, and that's I was like, man, that's dangerous. You know, it's like,
Makes him a hell of a lot more dangerous. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why I feel sorry for white people like Ethan and Kelsey that can just come and chill, because y'all get blamed for a lot of shit y'all y'all ain't got nothing to do with. And I
So
feel sorry.
do you ever hear Louis C.K. His joke about time travel?
Yes.
About about how white people can go to anywhere in time, and there'd be like a table waiting. Oh yeah, welcome, sir. You're right this way, but we can't go into the future. Like the black people can go in the future because we're going to pay for this shit. That's what he said.
That's true. My wife is like, yes, I would love to live in the Victorian time. She loves all the Victorian houses. I'm like, nah, you don't go by yourself. You wouldn't go back in time with me? Hell no. It wasn't too good for me back then. I'll pass.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I feel sorry for the white people that, there's a lot of white people out here that just want to live their life, take care of
Yeah.
their
Poor us.
kids, pay for their mortgage, and this whole white privilege thing, like, okay,
No,
whatever.
I
I'm
hate
done.
SJWs. I can't. I hate SJ because SJWs are absolutely insane about that kind of thing, and it's this kind of stuff exists. There are Nazis. There are Nazis. They have what you were describing is Nazism. Nazis don't sound like the KKK. They are sophisticated gentlemen. They're smooth, good talkers. They dress well. Look at Richard Spencer though. Richard Spencer. Uh, he's handsome. He's kind of effete, a little effeminate. It's like he dresses well. He's extremely intelligent. Can formulate a thought. Will out debate you. I mean, he'll just out debate you. And that's the face of racism today. It's not that's because it's convincing. It's like people hear that and go, well, I kind of admire this guy. Like he's someone who you could kind of be impressed by. So you fall into that kind of poisonous way of thinking. But SJWs assign that to everyone. They assign that to absolutely everyone. Everyone that they don't like. Everyone that they don't like is Richard Spencer. Everyone they don't like is a Nazi. Everyone they don't like is, white supremacist, white nationalist. And that's the thing. And they use that against you. And it's hard to prove that you're not. It's hard to prove that you're not in it. Prove that all of these people going around saying, prove this, prove that. Hey, these people make themselves known.
Yeah,
These
they
people,
do. And I was like, yeah, they don't. They're not trying to hide
they're
things.
not ashamed of it. They think it's the right thing. And if you let them talk about the ethnic state and all of that, they'll happily talk about it. And they'll tell you why it's the right thing. And by the way, they'll tell you that it's the right thing for you too if you're black. It's not like they hide this kind of a thing. They're proud of it. Now, there was one thing that happened in comics recently, 6 months ago, where it was right after the riot, or not the riot, whatever that white supremacist thing was in Virginia, Charlottesville.
So yeah.
So a cosplayer went there and marched with her boyfriend. And I don't know how she feel. I don't even remember what her name was, but like she was a cosplayer. People knew her in the cosplay community. They knew her boyfriend. They said to her, "Are you're sitting there marching?" Goes, "The Jews will not replace us. You're saying all these crazy things. Is that how you feel?" And she's like, "Well, I was really kind of there with my boyfriend." So it's like,
So it was just a date.
well, right. I mean, so in a way, yeah, I guess she sympathizes. But then you ask him, you say, "Hey, are you a racist? Are you, a white nationalist?" And you know what he said? He said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Yeah, newsflash, and he went on this whole tirade about, justifying who he is. It's not like he's hiding it. He's like, yeah, I'm all of those things, and F you,
I'm gonna be honest. I actually respect whether I agree or disagree or whatever. I actually respect people that own their own shit, man. I respect that because there's so many people that feel that way, but they're afraid to actually be honest. And I actually respect people just like, hey, man, this is the way I feel. That's you used to see him on Morton Downey Jr. and all those shows.
Yeah, throwing chairs. No,
Yeah,
that was Geraldo. That was Geraldo.
yeah. Well, I mean, but Morton was the same. Morton used to be before he got all before the cancer got to him and stuff. I mean, Morton was crazy. I was like, I'd never seen anything like Morton Downey Jr. before, and I was just like, wow, and then he jump in their face. You're a piece of garbage. Oh, he like get in front of everybody. He was Jerry Springer before Jerry Springer, and I love Morton. I was like, that was the best stuff.
I didn't know what he was talking about as a kid, but I liked the way he was like, "You're a pablum puking liberal son of a." I love, and he'd yell and scream. And so
His
as a
face would
kid,
turn red, and I would just be like, it was crazy.
whatever this guy's talking about, I like it. It's like, yeah, he didn't last very long on the air. He was one of these guys. He was one of the first like political hoaxers. Like I was assaulted, I was beaten up in a restroom by Nazis, and they threw me in and they drew a swastika on my face. And it's like, remember that? And this is how his career ended. They looked at him, they took a picture of him. It's like the swastika was drawn on backwards because he did it in the mirror. Like he did it to himself, and he beat the shit out of himself to get sympathy. Yeah, that was a nice hoax. And we've been seeing a few more things like that as well recently. People manufacturing these hoaxes to get attention. But yeah, like anyway. So by the way, one thing that people are kind of right about, and I've noticed it, is that since the emergence of Trump, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm seeing more of it, but I am seeing more, white nationalism, white supremacists. I'm seeing it more. You can actually go on YouTube and you can watch these guys talk and hear what they have to say, and they seem emboldened. They're celebrities within their culture.
Well, that was that Vice thing though, and that I guess when Vice went with some of those groups down to Charlottesville, and I know one guy got arrested. He was the guy that said that if Trump really loved his daughter, he wouldn't have given her to a Jew. That guy. And I mean, he ended up getting arrested. That guy ended up got he was crying on. I'm not really like this. I'm not really a racist. He was saying some vile stuff on camera, and then then he got into some action down there, and they arrested him, and he was like, I was not, I don't have that in my heart. That's not who I am. And he's sitting there crying. And I was like, wow, you was saying some vile stuff on that TV though. Or everything. He's like, yeah. He's
if
like,
that comes out of your mouth, that's somewhere in your heart.
yeah, that's why I was like, he seemed to mean it when they were. He was like, yeah, if he loved, why would he give his daughter to a Jew? And I was like, wow. I was like, okay.
Oh my god.
I was like, you said that with a straight face, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like I said, and he went down there looking for some action, got into some. He had been in a couple fights and stuff, and they arrested him, and he's just talking like he's gonna get like 3 to 5. So enjoy your time, buddy. All right.
Yeah. Where'd Kelsey go? What the hell? Where'd Bob
he
go?
went to
Ben?
maybe the smoke. Yeah, Ben may have dipped, and I think Kelsey's getting a smoke or whatever.
Well, that's early in the morning.
Oh, there he is. Okay.
There he is. Yeah. I still don't know Ben very well. I haven't spoken with him for very long, but he gave a great impassioned speech on behalf of ComicsGate, and this is, I think, the second time I've had him on my show, and we got to get him talking more about this kind of stuff because he's got. I just like the way he says what he says. It's like somebody. Well, he came on and he just kind of said, like, he went off on who was it that he was talking about?
I know he talked about that Iron Jedi guy that was being all sweet on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Which I did a video on that. It's like the Iron Jedi uses the soy force on Ethan Van Scott.
I don't like that. I really don't like that. I don't. It's like, just be nice. How hard is it to be nice if you're asking a favor of someone?
Because I thought that was funny because Mike was going back and forth with him, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah, Mike will get into a fight with people, and this is something that Mike S. Miller likes to squabble, and he always has. And I used to like it too until I realized that it was giving me cancer.
I actually believe that, because I feel like when you absorb that negative energy like that, you just feed on it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I had to kind of watch what I was doing after a while. I was just getting angry and angry, and sometimes you got to unplug. You got to walk away from that.
Yeah, you don't have to argue with people. I mean, that's the weird thing. Just because some rando on the internet says something rude or even lies about you, you don't have to do anything. You can just let it go. And by the way, arguing with people like that just gives them oxygen. So, and then they get more and more attention. It becomes a big fire. Just let those people yell at a wall. But Mike likes to argue with them because there's something in Mike S. Miller, like he knows he's right and he wants to prove that he's right to you. So he wants to argue with people. And he's pretty good at arguing. He does get passionate sometimes and kind of lose control and say bad things, but like for the most part, he'll spend all day arguing a single point with you.
Yeah, 'cause I got tagged into some long ass threads. I was like, holy shit, dude, how much of your day? I was like, I can't get that time back, man.
He's
Yeah.
one of those guys that can work and like argue at the same time because you just see him like,
Yeah. Yeah, he's just
Yeah.
always like up arguing about something. Like I said though, he was like that in the '90s. Who else is like that is diversity in comics. Richard C. Meyer is like a dog with a bone. Like he used to be he used to be on my Facebook page. And my whole Facebook thing, and this is why a lot of SJWs are pissed off at me. They go, he's a known bully. He's been bullying people for a long time. Well, I used to have a Facebook page where I would sit there every single day and I would post a few political articles from the Drudge Report and just let people go at it. And I would post the article like if Trump was, uh, if Trump was about to announce, no, this was before Trump was even elected. But if I were to do it today and Trump were to appoint a Supreme Court justice, I would post that and say, hope Ruth Bader Ginsburg's doing well. That would get people absolutely insane, and they would argue all day long. Uh, and Richard Meyer would be one of them. Like he would come in and he would just be like fighting with people. This was just, it seemed like my private Facebook page. Like it just seemed like this was something we did. Me and about 30 other people came every single day to argue politics. Right wingers were kind of safe on my Facebook page. But to outsiders looking in, it looked like the devil.
Well,
It was
it was on message boards even before that, right?
uh,
Yeah, 'cause I know he said he got banned from one of the old
he,
forums.
he got banned from everywhere. Richard C. Meyer would go everywhere, and he was the same guy everywhere he went. Now, I would try to reel him in, and this is the history that we have. Like, I would say, you know what, not well, he would get mad at me and he'd disappear, like he'd unfriend and disappear for a long time. And then he would write to me and say, hey, I'm coming back. Or I would say, hey, why don't you come on back? And he'd say, okay. Um, and then he would do the same thing again. I always enjoyed him, but sometimes he would go a little too far. And people would be like, hey, calm down, back off. But he was like a dog. He's like a pit bull. Like he wouldn't let it go. He would never let it go. And then finally he got sick of me, I think, moderating my Facebook page and disappeared for a long time. And then he showed up with diversity in comics. So you can still find that stuff on my Facebook, like him arguing to hell. And I remember
God
this.
bless him.
Tony Bedard used to be on there. Like a bunch of liberals used to be on my board and have a great time. It was just like, hey, all we're doing is arguing politics. And Tony Bedard goes, maybe like this could be perceived like the wrong way outside of this board. I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, some people look at this and they just think this is just like, toxic what we're doing here. And I'm like, but it's just my Facebook page where everybody enjoys this. Everybody comes back and he's like, I know. Well, Tony was addicted to this kind of debate and arguing too. But eventually, yeah, like leftists came out and said, your page is a cesspool of right wing politics and all this stuff. I was like, oh, my Facebook page is an exact duplicate of your Facebook page. It's just 180 degrees in the other direction. It's you guys are just as all this Trump stuff that you post, all this Bush bashing that you did, like for 10 years. It's like we're not allowed to do the same thing. I guess we're not allowed to do the same thing from the other way. But anyway, that's where I met Richard Meyer. He is the same kind of guy. He would go to Bleeding Cool. He would argue. He'd get banned. He'd go someplace. He'd argue. He'd get banned. And he is him and Mike Miller, man. They will take their social media and just go to town. I've gotten involved in things like that before, in those kinds of arguments, and you can just feel it, the pulsing in your head. You feel like a headache coming on, and you're like, I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my time. And this isn't making me feel better about anything. And I just kind of I'll say my piece and then mute or just walk away. But Mike Miller can't. He really loves it. He loves to argue. I don't know if it makes him happy. I have to ask him if it makes him happy.
I was like, God bless him. I love you, Mike. Mike's been a good guy.
He scared me when he first showed up, because I was like, he was so just forthright in his opinions, and I was just like, oh man, I don't know about this guy. And then like I just kept watching him. I'm like, he's all right,
He's a likable guy. Yeah, I don't, we disagree about a lot of things. But he's a likable guy. Everyone loves him. Edwin loves him. Like Edwin's like, I really want to thank you for introducing me to Mike S. Miller. Like they became great friends.
Oh yeah, the Aloha Hour. I love that. I've been on a few times. And
yeah. Elric says, Ethan, have you met Richard in person yet? No. I invited Richard to my wedding in November. And he said, I'm coming. I didn't know you yet. I would have invited all you guys. Are you kidding me?
I would have loved to come.
Dude, it was in Atlantic City. It was in a nice Italian restaurant. We stayed up all night and gambled at the casino. It was phenomenal. It was a great time. And a lot of my boys came, a few pros, but not too many. I didn't want anyone to have to travel a great distance. So I didn't invite anyone that was like really far away. I don't believe in that. I just feel weird about that. Yeah, we had a great time. So Richard Meyer built up to this for a long time. He's coming to my wedding. He's like, well, I'm going to get you a gift. He's like, I'm really excited because, for the first time in my life, I have money so I can get you a good gift. And I was like, that's nice. You don't have to, just show up. We want to hang out. Last minute, I'm sick.
Oh man. He doesn't like attention. I was like, because I was always seeing like even in the chat, he'd pop in there and I'd be like, that's Richard. It's your boy Zach. Yeah. And then I remember hearing him cough, and then I'd be like, oh, it's just him. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. It would have been good to have him there. But yeah, like, was he sick? Was he not sick? To me, like if he was not sick, he maintained the lie that he was sick very, very well through his next week's worth of videos. So he could have been sick. But the other thing about Richard is, honestly, he is, OCD. And I think he's nervous around people. Like, he did a convention with some other ComicsGaters, and just that must have been a struggle for him. It must have been a struggle for him, to sit behind a table and just be warm and friendly to fans, meet fans for a long period of time. I just don't think he's got something. He's got some kind of OCD thing that doesn't allow him to do that. And I think he was overthinking and was very nervous about being at a wedding with a lot of people. That's my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like I had some people that asked me about him. I was like, I think he's an important voice in this movement. I was like, whatever you think of it, he's definitely important, and I was like, he's definitely able to kind of get that clear message out there about what we're trying to do. It's just, I just really like how he can he takes the on, I don't know, on Twitter he seems to be able to just, hey, you're talking to the fans, why are you talking like this to fans, and I was like, yeah, exactly, man, these guys are spending their money, quit being a dumbass.
Yeah, he I think the thing about Zach that's invaluable is he really is I think he's really insightful about comics. In ways that I think a lot of his critics won't give him credit for, and they never will. But I mean, there's a lot going on within comics creatively tropes and things that he can identify and break down that make him one of the most important voices in comic books today.
He's picked up stuff that I've read a book and I was like, yeah, pretty good. And then I'll watch a video and he's done it and I'm just blown away. I'm like, I saw none of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said that I actually spoke to DC Comics about it. I just said, I told the higher ups at DC, I said he is one of the most important voices in comics today, and you can either realize it today or 20 years from now. But what he's saying is nobody else is saying it. It's extremely insightful. I think it's correct. I think a lot of things that he is saying kind of predict where this industry is going wrong creatively and business wise. Now, I mean, I don't always like the things that he says. I don't like the man in a wig thing. I don't like the personal attacks. I have trouble, and I've he'll tell you this. When we talk, I kind of say to him, look, when you ascend, it's when you're talking about the bigger issues in comics. It's when you're talking about the creative tropes and the weirdo SJW, stuff. When you descend, it's when you are attacking individuals. When you're actually saying this is this guy right here, blah blah blah, and making personal comments about them. That's when they're going to get you, and that's when you're not as big as you could be. People will, you can say, hey, this is the problem, and then you can let fans draw their own conclusions. Like they can say, well, blockbotting is wrong. And this guy uses a blockchain, and therefore I think he's a problem with the industry, and I'm not going to buy his comics. You don't have to tell them that. You don't have to point out that this is a guy who does it. That the fans are smart. They'll figure it out, and they'll go and say, hey, we don't think blockchains are right. We think it's wrong. Well, they can't because they're blocked. But they would. This is the thing. You don't need to point out individuals, because when you point out individuals, oftentimes it makes victims out of them. It leads to them being harassed. I think where he's gone wrong in his whole crusade is where he's picked fights with people like Heather Antos, Max Visaggio, where he's picked fights with, even people who deserve his wrath. I mean, somebody like Rubble Woman, whoever that was, over at Image. Picking a fight with that person only gives them attention. I mean, it only gives them the limelight. So, I don't know.
When I was young and just starting out, man, I thought my shit didn't stink. I mean, I was all about, like, I know how things should work, and I hate this guy, and this guy really sucks. And I was developing a reputation really quickly as a guy that just, was a shit talker, real similar to that, about, directly naming other artists and writers. And then, as time went by, like, I met a lot of them, and thank God the internet wasn't a thing back then, because they had no idea, but they were great. And then, of course, as great to me, and I felt like crap after. I'm like, this guy was awesome. He knew my name when I showed up, and he was totally cool. And then, of course, later, with time and experience, I realized just how hard this can be, this job. And I appreciate now the work that a lot of guys that I probably didn't care about earlier on, they were kicking my butt, man. I mean, and they still are, so it's, I don't know, perspective, meeting people, and all that.
I always did that too. Like when I started in the industry, like the people I thought I wouldn't like, I ended up really liking once I met them. It's like I'd get their book, I check out their attitude and go, I don't like this person. And then I meet them and go, holy crap, like that person's awesome.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. And then the other way around too. People that I actually like turn out to be kind of dicks.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. All right, guys, I want to wish you all a good morning. It's now almost 7 a.m. This is Comic Artist Pro Secrets ComicsGate live, early morning chat, much more early than usual.
That's why they have replay.
Yeah. I love these. I love these early morning chats. These are just kind of having a little bit of coffee and getting our bearings for the day. Kendra T, have Dave lead CG from his hut using smoke signals. Gojirify. Dave Sim writes his scripts on stone tablets. Aunt Lohede, thanks for $5. I would render my services for free to help build a platform to advertise, fund, and distribute your comics. I love to code like you guys like to draw. Diversity in Comics Bear, $9.99. Racist equals a magic wand. That means you don't have to make an intelligent or honest argument. Just say your opponent is racist. It's like throwing them in the garbage disposal, a sick person's tactic. Yeah, I agree. Paul Bevins, $10. Two buddies of mine were kicked out of town by the sheriff when my car broke down. They were test driving it. Definitely racist in Louisiana. Al Jordan, thanks for $7.49. Hi, Uncle Ethan and friends. I just wanted to say that your second Cyberfrog Blood Honey campaign, congrats for your second Cyberfrog Blood Honey campaign, and get Robbie Rectum on the chat, Uncle. He's welcome anytime. Warren JB, thanks for a £1 donation. T-Bear, thanks for €2. SJW are like the boy who yelled wolf. Yeah, Meximan and Cheese, $5. Here's $5 for insomnia medicine, Uncle E. Just kidding. Surprised to see you streaming this late is all. Diversity in Comics Bear, $4.99. White nationalists are emboldened because the media treats them like celebrities. Interesting. That same media tries to destroy centrists who would unite us. Sketch Therapy, $10. I'm Puerto Rican to me, American Gringos and German Jews. I don't understand what this says. I'm Puerto Rican to me. Oh, I'm Puerto Rican to me, American Gringos and German Jews are white to say they're greedy, they're privileged. We must take their patriarchal inheritance and redistribute it. That is so Nazi. Okay, I don't quite grasp that, but I think I read it properly. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm confused. Okay.
All right, guys. I love you all. I'm gonna have a good birthday today. I'm gonna go probably have some pie. I might have some cake later today as well. I wish to share it with all of you. I want you to have a great Monday, and I'll probably be on later with more videos and another live stream. So thanks, guys, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.